4, 3,
2, 1.
Put everything down and crank your speakers up.
It's time for
The Realest Podcast.
Oh yeah!
And what is going on, guys? You're listening to the Realest Podcast, and welcome to NXT Takeover Orlando's prediction show. In my eyes, the WrestleMania weekend is in full swing now. I'm joined by Andrew, as always. Kyle will be joining us for the show after the after Takeover. He could not get off work, so.
So wait, WrestleMania season hasn't officially started? I mean, yesterday was a kind of big, eye opener, with the Hall of Fame.
No, the wrestling part of WrestleMania.
No, the wrestling. The wrestling. No, we got a stacked card tonight, man. I think we do anyway.
Yeah, we do. I know you are actually really excited for tonight's card.
I am.
What do you
I'm
think
ready for Asuka versus
Ember Moon.
Ember Moon. Yeah. I'm ready for that. I think that's going to be a very thrilling bout. I think it's going to be back and forth, and I think it's going to surprise a lot of people. I think it's going to come out as a big surprise and really blow us away out of the gate.
Right. I also think it will too. I think that tonight's going to be a good night. I think I've been on record. Well, I know that I've been on the phone with you and said that I am not the biggest fan of, tonight's card. I think every single championship match is great, but when it does come to everything else, I'm not a big fan of. So that's kind of where I'm at now. So, with the Hall of Fame last night, I know Bobby Roode has taken over the WWE Snapchat. I don't know. You think anything crazy is going to happen tonight, or you think we're just going to have a great, evening of wrestling?
I think it's going to come down to been a great evening of wrestling. We might have like one or two surprises come in. Other than that, I think it's just going to be straightforward. Maybe a few titles changing hands. We'll see. I honestly think that it's gonna be great. I really do. I really think that it's gonna surprise us.
Right. Let's get into it. We're here to predict, not sit here and chat because ha ha ha. Well, I'm joking. So let's start it off tonight with in my opinion, should start off the night in Ty Dillinger, Roderick Strong, No Way Jose, and Ruby Riott versus Sanity, which is Eric Young, Killian, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Dane, Alexander Wolf, and Nikki Cross, who Nikki Cross is becoming one of my favorite women wrestlers right now. And I'm sorry if I sound sick. What's up, Jamie? I kind of have a runny nose, so if I sound a little weird, that's why. But what are you thinking? What are you thinking of this tonight?
I think that this is a very important match. I think that whoever wins this match, they're kind of choosing the direction the superstars are going in. I think that if Ty Dillinger finally gets a win tonight, even if it's not one-on-one, I feel like that means that they're grooming him to kind of face Bobby Roode soon. So I think that if that's what their plan is, to keep Ty Dillinger in NXT, they're going to give him the W tonight because he's definitely earned it in terms of like his work and performance as of late. He's definitely in need of a win. He needs to win this. But I honestly think that if we're talking about the future of NXT and what would do better for the card, I really think that Sanity should walk away with this. I feel like they should end as they began, very strong, untouchable. I think that they should blow them away.
Mm-hmm.
So it just depends on what direction they want to take it in,
Yeah, I think that Sanity should win this one, and because Sanity in reality is becoming the big faction, or the crazy faction of NXT, which is I wouldn't say something that is needed, but it's something that is nice to see, something different, So I am going to go with Sanity. Jamie says he thinks that Sanity will win and that Ty Dillinger will get called up. I disagree with that, and here's why I disagree with Ty Dillinger being called up. Who's going to be the top face for when if Shinsuke moves on?
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh, I really, if you want me to be honest with you, I really hope not. I'm not a fan of Cassius Ohno.
I'm not big on him either.
I'm not. His theme music kills it for me, and I mean, I don't think.
Well, I mean,
he's really
he was what, Chris Hero in a different promotion.
great. Yeah, he's also
Yeah,
gained a lot of
like,
weight since the last
I
time.
honestly haven't really seen him too much. I think it was before they started airing NXT on the WWE Network that he was last there, and he left right before it went on the air. So I mean, I'm not really a big fan of his. He hasn't really impressed me as of yet. He's like an Andrade Cien to me. Andrade Cien almost just like never got off to a good start with me. Like I never
think he's stepping up as a heel.
was wowed
I'm
by
still
him.
not a big fan.
Oh
but
yeah,
I think he has stepped up as a heel.
he's much better as a heel. But yeah, I mean, it just really depends on what's going on. I think that Sanity's going to win this, but if they plan on doing something big with Ty Dillinger, he should win this. He should get the pinfall.
Well, if they are planning on doing something, no offense, when people said he was fat, I didn't think he was as fat as he is. I mean, it's no.
He's
offense.
bigger. He's
a
bigger than he used to
guy,
be.
But I mean, there's. I wouldn't say no offense. I mean, it's your opinion. I think the smartest thing to do is to have Sanity win. I mean, they're having Sanity become that big force, and obviously you're gonna have Roode keep the title until I would assume around SummerSlam, and just keep in reality just keep it on Roode, and then you have Ty Dillinger kind of come in and be like, I'm the new number one contender. You could have Ty Dillinger. You could have Dillinger in reality just.
Yeah, but the
I'm
only
trying
thing
to
I
think,
don't
hang
like
on.
about that.
Okay, I got it. So, I'm sorry, I get sidetracked easily. You have Bobby Roode say, dude, I've beaten you 100, I've beaten you. This is a waste of time, but whatever. And then, him kind of be the underdog. And I think that's what they should shoot for, is that underdog
I honestly
story.
think that they shouldn't do that unless he gets the win. He needs to win at some takeover. I mean, he hasn't won a takeover, to my knowledge, at all. So, I mean, if he has won a takeover, it was years ago. It hasn't been any time recently. So, I mean, before he goes for the NXT Championship, he needs something to kind of solidify himself if he's going to go for that championship. Because as of this moment, they're kind of booking him like Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah. I think he'll get his opportunity. Again, I think it should be, if Shinsuke leaves, I think that he should stay there and be the top face, because he is the most over guy, other than, in reality, Bobby Roode. So, Bobby Roode and Shinsuke, those are the only two people that are more over than him. Now, then again, if their plan is to do what is rumored, which is have Adam Cole come in and take over and be that number one guy, then I would move him up. But again, I've said this before, if they do move him up, he needs to have a storyline and something good needs to come out of it. He doesn't need to come up and be what he is now.
No. I mean, he did his part because of all the big names that were there, and he put in his time. I honestly think that you need to throw him a bone after a while. Give him something.
So Jamie says Ty Dillinger's the guy that loses to all the new superstars. No, that's Andrade Cien now.
Yeah, it was Ty Dillinger.
Yeah, but I mean, Ty Dillinger can get
No.
somebody over. Not to mention Ty Dillinger is over on his own, so it's like you have to battle to get over.
Yeah, I mean, Bobby Roode didn't need Ty Dillinger to get over, but man, was that one hell of a match that they had.
Well, Roode faced Cien in his first match at Brooklyn.
Yeah, but the very next match, it was him
in
and
Toronto.
Ty Dillinger.
That was really.
And they tore the house down, man. That was a really good match.
It was 100%. It was. But I mean, moving on. God, what is this guy's name? The new guy. We have A-lister, or if I'm not mistaken, A-lister Black or A-lister Black versus Andrade Cien Almas.
No, well, it's kind of obvious who's going to win this match.
Yeah, Cien all the way. No, obviously Black's gonna win, with ease. So.
Yeah, that makes no point for him to debut and lose.
All we know is, his little promos that he's been shooting, nothing really crazy. So, Not a lot to talk about.
Well, I
I've really
honestly,
haven't heard of him at all.
honestly, he kind of reminds me of Baron Corbin a little bit,
Yeah.
with sort of like the biker look or the tattooed biker look.
Which in reality, I don't think they need a Baron Corbin, but they need somebody to kind of fit that role. The bad guy that's just there to, beat people up.
Yeah, but you ain't gonna get it that with that guy right now because he's coming in as a face.
Oh, that's right, he is. He is coming in as a face. I forgot that. Well, that's not entirely true because usually whenever somebody debuts, it's just kind of Like, what is he going to be?
hmm
I mean, he could easily turn into a heel. Easily.
Yeah, I mean, it's more likely if they ever put him against a face, and it's kind of like he comes in as a heel. Not so much when it's the other way around, because he's debuting against a heel.
Jamie said that he thought that he had a vampire gimmick. I mean, it seems like it, doesn't it?
It's sort of like like I said, he reminds me a lot of Baron Corbin, but he also reminds me of Gangrel. He used to run with Edge and Christian back in the day. So, I mean, it's a little bit of both. I mean, hey, to each your own. I mean, if he's going to come in and bring something new to the table, absolutely. I don't care what you tried as long as it works.
Mm-hmm. And just think, these are the only two matches that aren't title matches. There's only 5 matches on the card tonight.
Yeah. I mean, it's TakeOver, but, I think that the championship matches are going to last.
Every
like
single
4
time,
minutes.
I know there's 5 matches every card, but every single time I see only 5 matches, I just think, man, how are they going to do this?
Well, I mean, their pay-per-views aren't nearly as long as the main rosters.
I mean, they're 2 hours.
So, the main roster always goes with 2-3 hours.
Right.
Or sometimes 4 or 5, depending on what pay-per-view it is. So, it's nice. I mean, for them to be able to get those 5 matches in, it's not too much, it's not too little. And really, that's all we need is a championship matches and then 1 or 2 random setup feuds here and there.
Yeah. Well, speaking of championship matches, let's talk about a championship match. The triple threat tag team match, and if I'm not mistaken, it is a elimination.
Elimination.
Yeah, it's an elimination triple threat match. The tag team champions of Authors of Pain against the Revival and DIY. And I do know that the Revival were actually not supposed to be in this match. The Revival were supposed to be feuding with TM61. But, obviously we know what happened with TM61, which is, why they're in the situation. So, for me, I think this is a farewell for our team. I think it's the farewell for the Revival. I think, they're due to come up.
Do you really want to have them eliminated first?
You have to. In reality,
for their farewell,
you do have to. As sad as that sounds, you have to because you can't have a heel faction versus heel faction. And in reality, the Revival are over. It's not like. I think the last time I heard them get extremely booed was Takeover Dallas or Takeover the End. I think that's the last time I heard them get booed out of the building. Every single time they're
but
now, it's
you made a point though. I mean, it's their farewell. I mean, honestly, if it were me, I mean, like what they did against Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, that was a so long, see you bye pay-per-view.
Right.
That was a hard-fought match. They told a great story. They lost. Oh well. They get right off into the sunset.
Well,
I honestly would be very upset if they get eliminated first because I know it's coming.
Right.
But if they get eliminated first, it's kind of like, wow, is this really the way you want the Revival to go out?
Yeah, well, I mean, in reality, every single time somebody does leave the company or leave or get called up, they do lose. Finn Balor's last
They
match,
do.
Finn Balor's
They do,
last
which
match,
is fine
Finn
if they
Balor's
tell a
last match
story.
was a loss to Shinsuke, which there is a story.
I mean, it's not like it was an elimination match and he got eliminated by Ty Dillinger or they got eliminated by Ty Dillinger.
Like, if you want me to be honest with you, the way it's being set up is, the Revival are kind of helping the Authors of Pain because, like I said, I'm not really a big fan of Authors of Pain. I don't think that if they face a tag team that's not like DIY or the Revival, that they're going to be doing that well. So I think having DIY and the Revival in there just kind of makes it where you'll kind of forget about Authors of Pain being in there. What's up, Mirko? And I apologize if I totally got your name wrong. To catch up real quick before we continue on with this tag team match, JB says WrestleMania is going to be a 27-hour-long pay-per-view. This is going to be one hell of a match. Yes, it is, and it's WrestleMania weekend, dude. You know, the weekend is, in all honesty, 5 days or 5 to 6 days. You have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So 5 days.
Yeah, 5 days of straight wet wrestling.
Yeah. And, I mean, you could consider 6 days if you really want to consider the NXT show right after a takeover event counting, but I usually really don't count that because it's kind of just there. Like the first few weeks are kind of just there, but I think this could be the farewell for the Revival. Like I said, I think that they are overdue a call up, extremely overdue.
Oh yeah.
So
I mean, there's no question that they're going to lose. It's just I'm a little upset with the fact that they're going to be the first eliminated, or could be the first eliminated.
yeah, and I would have said that DIY could be called up, but I'll be honest here. DIY needs to stay there because there's no other face tag team. Team 6-1 was going to be that kind of the face tag team that took over, but again, you know, they're not there because of injury. So I think DIY might win this tonight. To keep this
I really hope they do win tonight. I think that it's probably the best bet for them because honestly, having a heel tag team is not really the best thing for the company right now, considering all the heel tag teams that are still currently in NXT. I mean, especially with Sanity. And, you know, Sanity, they're going to be done with Ty Dillinger and all very soon. Mm-hmm. So, you know, it's kind of like, all right, well, you got this momentum going. It might be opportunity for Sanity to go for a championship.
Right. But, yeah, I think 100% that DIY might take it tonight. And, you know, again, my reason behind it is the Authors of Pain. Who are they going to feud after this?
Nobody if they shut out.
Exactly.
If they shut out DIY.
Because, unless, you know, WWE.
Unless they're trying to get Heavy Machinery to get up there, and honestly, don't think that you should put somebody that fresh up in there.
I don't think they're over that. I don't think they're over as much yet. They need a lot of work.
But I mean, honestly, that's the only other, you know, questionably faced tag team other than those other twins, who, you know, wrestled once.
I mean, and also in reality, how long did it take for example, how long did it take for American Alpha to get an opportunity? Took them a while. Took them a few months.
Yeah.
How long did it take for DIY? Took them a few months. Give them some time, you know. But yeah, I do think again that DIY will win this. I think that the final two competitors or two teams is DIY and Authors of Pain, and the Revival will I think they go. This match is easily going 30 minutes easily. I see this, in all honesty, going 15 minutes or 15 to 20 minutes.
Elimination,
before
and then something else.
I think that it goes that long, and then an elimination will happen, and then, I mean, it could go 45 minutes because unless they really rush it, I think they should just let him go. I really do.
Yeah. But yeah, let them do what they need to do.
So, obviously we know, but what's your final say?
I think it's very risky, but I'm going with DIY as well.
Yeah, I do too. I really, really do think that.
I mean, if you want to be safe, it's probably Authors of Pain.
Well,
if you want to be honest.
But you know, just the more and more I think about it, it doesn't make sense to have DIY lose it. It doesn't, or excuse me, Authors of Pain win it. It just doesn't, because again, who's Authors of Pain gonna feud?
Nobody.
Because
you know.
One of these teams is staying in NXT. I don't see them calling up two.
I mean, I don't see them. I don't see them turning the Revival face either.
No, and I also don't see them calling up two teams like they did last time, because they called up the Vaudevillains and they called up Enzo and Cass, and where are the Vaudevillains now?
Yeah.
But
and you could say Enzo and Cass aren't really that much better. I mean, yeah, they're in the title picture, but you know, before that, they weren't really being used at all either.
They were still extremely over, and they were still being put on TV, though.
Yeah.
But moving on, let's get into the women's match. Obviously, a highly anticipated match between Ember Moon and Asuka, the undefeated Asuka, versus the undefeated Ember Moon, right? No, Ember Moon's been beat.
Ember Moon has never been pinned in singles competition, but she has been beaten in triple threat matches. But she's never been pinned or submitted.
So a lot of people are saying that Ember Moon's going to be the person to beat Asuka.
Well, honestly, at this point, it's the only person you have left. It's the only person from the women's division that has not competed against Asuka. You brought in people outside of the division. You brought in people within the division. You put everybody in the division at once and against her. I think Asuka's had a good run. I think that
she'll get called up. I think she's getting called up.
Yeah, she's could get called up soon. But really, this goes two ways as well.
I'm lying. I think she'll do what Bayley did. I think she'll get called up after SummerSlam.
Probably. Well, what happens with Asuka, like, in my opinion, is like two things could happen. Either A, she drops the title to Ember Moon, which is what I think what's gonna happen, or B, they're gonna keep the title on her and give her the honor of destroying Goldberg, undefeated streak. So, it just depends on what they're gonna do. But I mean, if there's no perfect way to end her streak, then what they're doing now, I think if they don't end her reign now, she's going to be forced to have to vacate the title somewhere down the road like Paige did. Because there's no way you're going to have anybody else but Ember Moon at this point.
Well, if they make her vacate the title, then she's going to come onto the main roster, and I mean, in reality, she's going to have to fucking dominate. Like,
right. Well, I mean, she's going to dominate, but I honestly think that she needs to lose. She has to lose at this point. But then again, I mean, how many times have I sat on this podcast, and I think every single time, with the exception of the first few times where she actually won the championship, I've said that she was going to lose, and she's won. So, with that in mind, I'm going to say Ember Moon again, but I really think that her luck's going to run out, and she's going to lose.
Ember Moon, for me, I'm not going to lie, I was not extremely behind her at first. I thought when she first came in at Brooklyn and beat, what's her name? God, I hate her.
Billie Kay.
Billie Kay. When she beat Billie Kay, I honestly and truthfully thought, okay, you know what? She actually seems like she's pretty good. And then she kind of fell off. Seemed like she really wasn't doing it. Just didn't seem right,
Well, they didn't use her at all either. They kind of kept her in the back of the scenes while everybody else was wrestling, and now they're bringing her back.
Right. So
for these matches.
Again, she just didn't really impress me. She really not upset me, but it really was a miss for me when at San Antonio she really messed up her promo talking about Asuka. But she's really shown up. She looks, she's wrestling really good. Seems like she's getting comfortable. It goes back to the point. If Ember Moon does lose, who's next for Asuka? Because there really isn't anybody. I mean,
she's run through the entire division.
Well, technically, you could say Nikki Cross. You could.
I mean, you could.
Because in reality, Nikki Cross wasn't even really a part of that match.
No, she was eliminated before she could do anything. But I mean, that's just one idea. I mean, if you really think about it, as of right now, Ember Moon is entering the match as the face, and Asuka is kind of in there as the heel, or as in like a more heel-esque perspective. Asuka has been known to kind of flip-flop her perspective based off the opponent she faces. Normally when she's up against a heel, she's super babyface. When she's up against a face, she gets a little crazy.
If you want my honest opinion on Asuka, I think she's just more of she's kind of like Brock Lesnar. She's a badass, and she doesn't care. Like, she's just there to...
Just really aggressive.
She's just there to fight. I wouldn't say she's there for money, because Brock's more of, I'm here to fight and make money. That's what it is. Paul Heyman has said it multiple times that, Brock...
Well, Asuka just wants a competition. That's it.
So, I don't see... I do not see... I don't know, man. I really don't. This is one of those 50-50s.
No, can I ask you this?
What's up?
And I want your perfect opinion on this.
Perfect opinion?
Yes, it got to be perfect.
Okay.
So, they're running with her being that like a Brock Lesnar, like a Goldberg type. Does that hurt her going into the main roster, given the fact that she's going to be facing competition like Nia Jax, Charlotte, Sasha, Bayley, everybody on the SmackDown roster? I mean, to have her be so dominant, does that hurt her going forward? Because right now, everybody was excited about guys like Goldberg to come back. And now the fans are starting to kind of turn on him after like those 5-second matches and always winning,
So is this assuming that Asuka wins this match?
Whether or not she wins or loses, and she's the dominant.
I think if
You know,
she loses,
person.
if she loses, I wouldn't say it's a setback, but it makes you rethink. You know, like she's not who she is, if that makes sense. So if she, this is I'm gonna go off of this assuming she wins, right? If she is to win tonight, and let's say they want to call her up so she just vacates the title, we have to think of who she's beaten. She's already beaten Bayley, and she's beaten Bayley twice, and she's beaten Nia Jax. So
Yeah, she's beaten Nia twice.
No, she's only beaten Nia once.
No, she beat her twice the same way, with that kick to the face.
Okay. So I think
It's one pay-per-view, one NXT live taping.
So she's beaten each twice. So right there, you already have her one up on the women's champion and basically on someone who's dominated the women's champion.
Right,
Sasha.
and then she's already taken out pretty much everyone in NXT as of right now.
So the only person you would really have to put that question on is Charlotte and Sasha. I would say that the person, if assuming she goes into this and she's as dominant as she is, the only person that could really take her out would be Charlotte.
Right. I mean, and that's the thing that I'm thinking about.
No,
like
no,
with Brock Lesnar,
I didn't answer your question, though.
it doesn't work.
To answer your question, do I think it'll hurt her? No. The reason why I don't think it'll hurt her is because with Goldberg, you're getting a minute match, like at most a minute worth of a match. He's really hurt. He's really not good on his promos. And it's really the same shit, different day every single time we see Goldberg. Now, with Asuka, even though her English isn't perfect.
She's a little bit, I would say, argue she's better than Shinsuke Nakamura for sure when it comes to the microphone.
Yeah. Her English isn't perfect, but her promos have been good. And whenever she goes off, whenever she does, kind of yell at somebody in Japanese, it kind of makes you go, oh, God. And here's the big one. She also, what's it called? She also wrestles long matches. So I think that's where it's gonna help her. I don't think it'll hurt her that much. Now, if she goes in there and dominates for a while and just out of nowhere starts losing, then it'll hurt her. But let's catch up on comments real quick before we continue. Michael says, I'm really excited for each event this weekend. I honestly have no clue on who will win any of these matches, making it more fun to watch. Absolutely. Reckless, that's just dirty. What's up, Reckless? Now, but continue. What do you think?
No, it's just like I like the fact that they're booking somebody like a woman to be like a Brock Lesnar type. But it's just like when I really look at it, it's kind of like, is that really going to help, or is that really going to, take away, from the experience, knowing that this girl is going to be the one that shows up and pretty much dominates everybody.
Right.
I mean, it's not like she's going away and then coming back. This is a full-time wrestler.
There's only one thing where I would have had a problem with Asuka. That would have been if Trish Stratus was able to wrestle her and she beat Trish Stratus.
Yeah.
Because Trish Stratus
I knew they were planning on her beating Trish anyway. I knew they were.
Yeah, but Trish is arguably the best woman to ever step in the ropes. Her and Lita both.
And you know what's funny about that is that when she came into the business, she had absolutely no idea how to wrestle. Mm-hmm. Essentially, she came in just like Eva Marie did. Yeah. And I know I'm going to get a lot of heat for saying that. She came in just to be a pretty face. Yeah. That was her sole goal. Just you were there to look good. And one of these days, she's like, you know what? I'm seeing Lita wrestle like that, and you know what? Damn it, I could do that too. And she busted her ass to do it, and wow, did you see her change? Yeah, and they piggybacked off of one another, and wow, did they improve.
Lita's last match, Trish's first and last match was against Lita.
Yeah.
Crazy. So, but here we go. Let's just get it out there. Who wins?
Smart decision, Asuka, but I'm going to once again go with my record of siding against Asuka, and I'm going to go Ember Moon.
All All right. I think
Eventually, I'll be right. Eventually, I'll be right.
yeah, eventually.
I'm like 0-10 right now.
It only took us how long to say the New Day was going to lose, and I think we actually all said New Day's going to win, and of course they lost.
Yeah. It's
But the more, like I said, the more and more I think about it, there's other than Nikki Cross, there's really nobody on that roster for her to face and for her to do anything with, and she's kind of overdue for a call up. She is overdue, but then again, I do think that they're going to wait until SummerSlam to call her up. So I do see Ember Moon winning this, and I think Asuka will be shook. I think Asuka will kind of what they did with Brock Lesnar and Goldberg. They'll be like, Asuka hasn't come out of her home in a week or two. She's, like she's really shaken up by this loss. Something like that.
Mm.
And then have her come back and then in reality, it would be kind of like Ronda Rousey. Have her come back and then her lose again, and then her come to the main roster. The more and more I think about it, for Asuka, it's I don't like her ending everything on a loss because of the fact that she's been built up as who she is. So when she comes up, she's coming off 2 losses. So it's just for me.
Which happens to everyone.
Yes, absolutely.
Unfortunately.
Absolutely.
Even the males.
Yes. But here's the problem with that, though. With other competitors, they've lost, other matches.
Right.
Asuka,
This would be her
lost.
first loss coming up.
So it's
and for her to lose twice in a row. And there's going to be a rematch if she does lose.
Yeah, 100%.
Whenever she loses, there's going to be a rematch. They're not just going to say, okay, well, you're going to get put up to the main roster and negate your title shot,
There's 2 things that could happen here. I could see her losing the first one clean, and then the second one somehow is a triple threat match, and Ember Moon pinning the other competitor.
Right.
That way, it doesn't hurt Asuka as bad. But
sort of like they would do with Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I still think that in reality, in my opinion, I think Asuka's in a lose-lose because of what position she's in. Because once she goes to that main roster, especially if she goes off 2 losses and being pinned clean, it's going to be like, well, she's coming off 2 losses and she is, quote-unquote, really shooken up from this. How can I believe that she's going to be dominant on the main roster? That's just my opinion, but I do think that Ember Moon will win this again because there's nobody else for Asuka to face after Ember Moon, and they have to do the rematch because, again, you need to have a woman build up. Billie Kay and Peyton Royce are good, but I think that eventually those 2 need to turn on each other.
Mm.
I would say more of have Peyton Royce turn because I think Peyton Royce is more over than Billie Kay. I also like Peyton Royce a lot more than I like Billie Kay, so...
Oh, and I'm the complete opposite. I like Billie Kay more than Peyton Royce.
So eventually I would do that, but again, you think Ember Moon?
Yeah, Ember Moon.
All right. So
I really should pick Asuka after going 0-10, with her winning for a year.
Hey, man,
but you know what?
Like you said, you'll get it, and once you get it, you can say you told everybody. So
yeah, like I told you so.
But,
just like Chris and Zack Ryder, I told you so.
Yeah. So before we do continue, we're going to be relaunching something after tonight. Be sure to follow us on our Twitter, at Realest Podcast, where I'm going to be tweeting from the Realest Podcast Twitter account. You can also follow me at Kermit or CERMIIT. Yeah, I know it's Sermit. It's just what I went by in gaming, so that's what it is. So you can also follow me through that, where I might also be tweeting out what I think, but I will be tweeting from the Realest Podcast Twitter account. You can also find us on Facebook. We're at the Realest Podcast. Our social media pages have been we haven't really done a lot of social media. We're going to be getting back into that tonight. Again, I will be tweeting from the Realest Podcast Twitter at Realest Podcast. Make sure to follow us. Give us your thoughts and what do you think. So now for the final match of the night, obviously the main event, the glorious Bobby Roode faces off Shinsuke Nakamura. I'll let you start.
I honestly think Bobby Roode's going to take this one. I think Shinsuke is going to be called up soon. I think that they're examining Shinsuke Nakamura very closely, and I think that they have a hard-on for him on the main roster. So I would not be surprised if Shinsuke Nakamura doesn't debut the day after WrestleMania on either Monday Night Raw or SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go with Bobby Roode.
Yeah, I know I saw somewhere, and it made me kind of think, what if Shinsuke wins and Bobby Roode gets called up? I think, again, I do think that Shinsuke is kind of overdue a call-up. And I do think that he will lose, and I do think that he will debut Monday or Tuesday. I would, depending on if AJ where AJ Styles goes, I think he should be on the same brand as AJ.
Yeah, that would make for a really good match, the two of them.
And also, before we continue this, rumor has it, and this is just a rumor, of course, that Jim Ross will be calling a match at WrestleMania 33. That would be awesome.
I heard that, but I'm holding my breath,
I hope he does it, but at the same time, I do, I really do feel bad for the guy for what he's having to go through. And, kudos to him for even showing up. For me, I probably wouldn't have done it. I probably would not have shown up. What's up, Kev? I don't know why you're listening. You should be sitting there talking to Trav on your drive here. So, yeah, what do you think?
What's that?
So you're gonna go with Bobby? You're gonna go with Bobby Roode, huh?
Oh yeah, Bobby Roode. Yeah, Bobby Roode.
Yeah, I mean, I do wish that there was more to talk about with this. It's just there really isn't. I mean, I think that, I do think that this could be match of the night. It might also not be my match of the night. Who knows? I think out of the matches, I do think that the tag team match is gonna steal the show. I do.
Yeah, I could see that for sure. I mean, you got the Revival and you got DIY. That's a recipe for success. And you know what? Authors of Pain, they impressed me last pay-per-view. So who knows?
Right. So again, let's just Bobby Roode all the way. We both saying Bobby Roode now. So we both agree on that match of the night will be the tag team match.
I think that it's most likely going to be that, but I honestly think the women's match is going to surprise us. I think that we really need to keep an eye on that one.
Right. So, I totally forgot. Can you hear the TV in the background?
I hear something in the background. That's it. You heard it first, live on the air.
Totally did not even think about muting that. So... all right, let's redo it. We got to restart. But yeah, I think that is gonna do it for us. And I apologize if there was any background noise. I just totally forgot.
I honestly didn't even know there was a TV until I heard like a beeping noise just a minute ago.
So again, I will be tweeting from the Realest podcast account. If you guys want to, tweet me, tell me what you guys think of the show. I do think that's going to do it for us. Again, we will be live immediately following NXT Takeover Orlando. And tomorrow, we do have our start time for the WrestleMania pre-show, and it will be at 3 o'clock Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. So 2 o'clock Central, noon or 12 o'clock for the West Coast, 1 o'clock for people in Mountain Time. We do, I don't know how long that show's going to go. I'm just assuming it's going to go long because it's 14 matches. Plus, we're doing it earlier than normal because of the fact that, the kickoff show is actually important.
Yeah. You have to watch the kickoff show because there's 3 matches on there. So.
Yeah, and it's not like, normal throwaway matches. It's actually important matches. So, yeah, I think that is going to do it for us here. Again, make sure everybody has a good time watching the show. NXT TakeOver, as always, is going to be amazing. So, yeah, until next time, until later tonight, peace out.